all my witchy and occultist and all things hidden from humans geeks. How you doing today? So yeah, I was stood up, believe it or not. Um, so I'm all dressed up with no place to go, and I figured why not go ahead and just make use of being dressed up and fixed up. Anyway, since I actually have the whole house to myself, I was supposed to actually drive my parents somewhere, and at the last minute, my you know my exceedingly abusive dad decided to just take over and take the car. So if he wants to kill himself, fine. I have no control over that. It's his car. I can't do anything about it. So uh I'm having trouble. Obviously today is not going well. So sorry about me looking all over the place. I'm looking at the background, I'm looking at myself, and I could not get this darn camera out of the blue. It didn't want to get me in frame properly. So I apologize for that ahead of time. I apologize for wherever my eyeballs might be looking. I apologize just for the crappiness overall of this. I just hope that you can hear me well enough. I'll try to get a little bit closer to the camera here. But the oddball thing is that somehow this camera decided to, I don't know how it's doing it, but it's zooming up tight on my face. And yet it has a pulled out, zoomed out view for my background. How this one camera is doing that, I don't know. And so I don't need it to be so tight on my face. And so I was trying to get it to pull back, and it suddenly took away the controls for me to correct that. Yeah, I was able to fix it, and suddenly out of the blue I'm not. I don't know. This is a Moto G stylus. I do not like it. I do not like Moto G. Moto G was advertising their cameras, saying that their cameras were the greatest things about their phones. It's not. It's straight out not. Samsung is worlds better. In fact, I suggest you get a Samsung. Do not get a Moto G. That has been my experience. It's been horrible. I'm not even going to get into it. So, now on to what y'all are here for, now that all apologies and whatnot are out of the way. So if I go off camera, who cares? This is more of a talking head podcast anyway. This isn't something to look at. So there you go. I have been wanting to do this for quite some time. I've been wanting to make several videos of this. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. Just the apology obviously took 3 minutes. So I'm probably going to end up having to cut this off. But I am kind of like in a quick emergency sort of, because I had to get up, I had to get ready, I had to get going, and now I'm all fixed up with nowhere to go. So I'm still kind of in that hurry, hurry, hurry mindset. I'm trying to calm myself down, and I'll try to add as many details as I can, but more than likely I'll make several videos over this. This does tie in all my other videos. This is an umbrella term, an umbrella thing. And so, David Icke, I think his name is Ecke. I don't know. This is very much like him. This is very much like, what else? This is very much like the stuff that they don't want human beings to know about. Just to let you know, human beings are known as human beings are known, just the term human or earthling. Human beings call themselves earthlings. They don't call themselves Terra or Terrans. Terra and Terrans is what Big Brother, let's just call it, uses. Is what. And by the way, I'm not going to be using words that could get this video taken down. I'm going to purposefully use other words. So just be aware of that, and I'm going to try to do that with my other videos. There are times when I feel especially bold, but I am going to try to use other words and terms. So, because this is so important, and I'm going to try to put this up on as many platforms as possible. But right now, all I know of is YouTube, which, by the way, Big Brother, which rules the world, whatever you want to call it, the religious Big Brother, which rules the world, they like having a monopoly and having one entity controlling all, which is not good, which is why there's only one search engine, Google's search engine, and all the other search engines have to, you know, they Google is the master search engine, and they function off of that master base programming, and they none of the other search engines can actually function independently from what Google has invented. And they're doing that with, they've done that with Facebook, they've done that with YouTube, and that is one of the reasons why they're trying to eliminate TikTok in the U.S. It has nothing to do with security reasons, by the way, nothing at all whatsoever. If you ever hear the term security, know that that is a dog whistle to um, to not protect at all, and to actually take away basic human rights, basic protections, and to, and they will do all kinds of stuff to make it look like things are being protected, like, oh, look, there's been, all kinds of terrible stuff happening. And it's literally, what do they call it in the military? I think they call it white flags or false flags or something. It's literally, you know, stuff to make it look like you need this item you need this security, this protection that they're trying to sell to you. But in all honesty and truth, you don't. You just don't, period. Um, and that happens more within social items and political items and legal items than anything else, just to let you know. So I'm going to predict the future here. This is the truth. This will happen. Whether they, and this is just the way that they're going. And this is 100% going to happen. They have everything built up to make it go this way. Obviously, I'm using the general they and being vague for a reason. If you can write me off as insane, I can speak openly and freely. If you can write me off as lying and not true, I can speak openly and freely. By being written off as a nutball, by being written off as insane, I can be completely open, and I don't have any worry. So, go ahead, write me off as insane. It's just dead stamp like David Icke. I warned you, or Ecke, or however you say his name. I warned you. I told you the truth. Write me off. Write me off as prejudice. Write me off as whatever you want. They're since they couldn't get David Ecke or whatever his name is, um, since they couldn't get him with writing him off as nuts and completely wrong because everything that he predicted came true. People are now realizing now they wrote him off as a nutball, they wrote him off as a schizophrenic, they wrote him off as anything and everything but, you know, the truth and reliable. And now that everything that he said was going to happen has happened, people are going, oh God, and listening to him. But the interesting thing is that since they couldn't get him with the insanity thing, they're now getting him with, oh, he's a neo-Nazi. Oh, he's prejudiced against the Jews. Oh, he's prejudiced against blacks. Oh, he's prejudiced against. And he himself said, I'm for the Jews. I'm for the black people. I'm for the disenfranchised. I'm for the homeless. I'm for all of these people. I'm not against anyone. I'm just trying to come forward and tell the truth. And that is what I am doing. So don't believe any of these, you know, and I'll say point blank right here. And since this is getting into the 10-minute mark, it's already at 8 minutes and going on a 9. This is the disclaimer. So I'll try to get into a little bit here. I'll try to stretch it to 15 minutes, but just to let you know, I am being, I am for the bullied. I'm strongly for the bullied. I am uh, for the physically disabled, for the physically ill. I am very much, because that is who and what I am. I was bullied. I was called, I was born a female. I was born a girl. I'm very much a girl, but I was called a transgender, and I was called gay in school, and they treated me horribly for that because I was born in Minnesota and had a quote Russian accent when I was moved down south. I was moved down south to Oklahoma, Yukon, Oklahoma, actually, and they called me, you know, they called me a Russian because of my Minnesotan accent. They said that I wasn't an American. They called me a boy, which I very much was insulted by and hurt by. They called me and they bullied me horribly. So because of that, because I was bullied so horribly, I am now for transgender people. I am now for lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, um, asexual, questioning, and queer. I'm for anyone who is bullied. Um, Also, because of what I have learned here, I am for the homeless. I am definitely for, I'm most importantly for anyone who is physically ill and being called a hypochondriac, being called a schizophrenic, being called, mentally ill. Because I've actually learned here, just watching Trump and watching the Democrats call him mentally ill, watching the Democrats really just crap on him and point out how he's severely mentally ill, and these are the points to point out how he's mentally ill. That was what was used against me in elementary school. The teachers pointed out how I was, quote, mentally ill, and the kids kept on calling me a a baby killer and a yank and a damn yank. Um, and because, I mean, which all of it was not true. None of it was true. And in my mind, I was like, we're all Yanks. We all fought, you know, in World War II, which is the only thing my dad ever taught me. All Americans are Yanks. We're together. We're the good Yanks that went and saved England, or Britain, or whatever you want to call it, the United Britain or whatever. So that's what my dad taught me, for better or for worse. And when I came down here, I was called a Yank and I was called a damn Yank. And I was like, yeah, but you guys are Yanks too, and I couldn't understand that. So because I was so bullied and because I was treated so badly, I am for everyone who is called mentally ill. Uh, I've been called a hypochondriac because I've been physically sick and I've gone to the doctor and I've begged them to save my life and they haven't. So I am very much for anyone who is undiagnosed or misdiagnosed. I've been suffering from the same thing myself. It's only because through my brother recently that I actually got to find out that I actually, according to the quacks now, I realize I have a lot to say about medicine too, by the way. Um, which I'm trying to keep it as clean and as kosher as possible. But supposedly, I have Crohn's disease, and it runs through my family and through both sides of my family, and I've been suffering from it horrifically my whole life. What I know medically, that lines up, but you know, that's medicine. So, but for my whole life, doctors just wrote me off as schizophrenic and a hypochondriac instead of admitting that I was sick. So, yeah. So I am very much for Black Lives Matter. They're not a gang. They are fighting for their lives. I am very much for the undiagnosed and the hypochondriac, and the, quote, schizophrenic and all this, unquote. Um, I am for those people because they are actually suffering and physically ill, and their bodies are proof of what, you know, Big Brother is doing. Um, as the old 1950s people would call it, Big Brother. Their bodies are actually proof of what is happening and what, you know, those in power are doing. Because otherwise they wouldn't be getting sick, literally. I am very much for anyone who they're trying to make homeless, and such as the lesbians, gays, bis, transgenders, and questioning and queer people. These people are actually gay. They are actually, asexual, questioning and queer. There's nothing wrong with them, and they're being made gay. And my parents told me something very important. They said that if someone comes and does it to your enemies, they will soon do it to you. So if you see someone throwing, you know, throwing someone of a political party, or like someone who's, my parents were very prejudiced against gays. Interesting, because there's gay relatives. Um, so they said that they're actually against my gay relatives, even though they're the ones that said this. My parents said that if they throw like the people who you hate, the gay people, the Republicans, the Democrats, whoever it is, in jail before long, they will come and throw you in jail. And those people who you defended will not be there to defend you. And when I get into this, that will be a rather moot point, but that is the truth. So I am very much for defending those who, you know, others might consider not good, such as Black Lives Matter, such as lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, asexual, questioning, and queer. This is why, and most importantly, I am for defending the homeless, because first they have to make you homeless in order to arrest you. Because once you are homeless, you have no money to, you know, defend your name, defend your reputation, and show that these charges brought against you are false. The homeless and the poor don't, even the Bible says the homeless and the poor's friends are far from them, meaning the poor have no friends. And so if you don't have any friends, if you don't have anyone to defend your name and reputation, they can do with you what they want. And Big Brother loves to use patsies. Big Brother loves patsies. They will take someone who's completely normal and they'll say a bunch of lies about them and make them out to be insane and make them out to be a criminal when they're not. So a lot of the stuff that's going on is not good. So this is at the 16-minute mark. I'm gonna cut it off. This did end up becoming completely rambly, but I'll get into it in the next video. Sorry to keep you on tenterhooks. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat. I am gonna get into it in the next video here. Give me a second. Bye for now.